Hi everyone, now I'm just about to tie for the very first time a fly called the Bragg's Dragonfly Nymph. Now this is, by looking at the dressing, it was a request. I got asked if I could tie this. Now originally it was tied by a gentleman called Robert Bragg from New Zealand. He was obviously a well-known angler down that way, and he's some really good patterns that consistently, and obviously caught fish. They talk really well of him on the internet. Now, the fly is very simple. I'll read the dressing. It's basically, the body is fluorescent lime chenille. The tail is barred squirrel tail, and in brackets it says short tail. Hackle is a grizzle hackle dyed mustard. Now, so I've basically looked through my fly tying materials, and I've got a mustard type coloured grizzle hackle. Hook, I've got, well, basically it doesn't mention weight, so I'm putting a bit of weight in it by using a hook. It's quite strong, it's heavy. It suggests size 10s, 8s and 6s, and this is a size 8. And this hook's a fulling mill, as you can see, so I'm going to use this. It's a fabulous hook. Thread colour, there's no mention of any thread, so I'm going to use an olive. This is just a uni, it's an olive done, 8/0. And then the squirrel, it doesn't mention colour, it just says barred squirrel tail. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use this is a light olive squirrel that I've dyed. I'm actually going to use that because I think it will go with the fly. Now you could use whatever you want, so I'll use this. Now as I say, it's very simple, there's not a lot to it. So basically I'll tie the fly, I'll just put down a layer of thread along the shank to get it started. And then I'm going to take the thread right to the back of the hook to just before it goes round the bend, just there. I'm going to get my squirrel, just going to bring enough out to form a tail. I'm going to stack this up just to get, so I get a nice barred colour. Just make sure there's no fluff on it if you're going to stack it, or the under first, sorry, remove that. It's actually easier to stack if you do that. Tip us first into the stacker. The Dragonfly Nymph it's a big nymph. Well, it does grow. I mean, it starts small, it obviously gets big, but when the fish are really on them, they certainly are a good size. So you can see they've stacked up. Obviously, being the barred colour, you want to be able to see it. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to work by the length of the hook. So the shank, sorry. Just I'm going to tie that in. Keep it on the top. 2 or 3 turns to get it started, and then I'm going to just come underneath a wee bit, just with 2 or 3 turns, just to flare the tail a wee bit and then secure it in the top. And that basically opens it out a wee bit, just gives it a wee bit more movement. Now I'm going to trim this the full length, it's practically to the head, well, maybe a wee bit further back, because I'm going to use the waist to bulk up this fly, or the nymph. So I'm going to just quickly take my thread up. Nice and tight. I'm going to wax my thread. There's a wee fibre there I'm going to pull back with my finger. And then tight as you can, the way back down. This will help you get a shape in the body, some shape anyway. Now for the body hackle, this is the feather I'm going to be using. This is as I say, it's a kind of straw coloured. It looks a bit yellow there, but in here it's more, it's kind of tan like more than anything. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie this in by the tip, or close to the tip anyway. I need to wind it up the body, and I want to finish on the fine under, or the soft fibre near the bottom of the feather, just to soften the head a wee bit. So I'm going to tie it in around about here, and just tie it on the top slightly. When you fold it back, it's not going to do any harm by doing this, but obviously stop it pulling out, so trim them away. I'm just going to fold this, just using the side of the scissors to fold it. There we go, that's fine, that's it ready. Now the chenille, I'm just using this lime green, this for the body. And just bare the core. You can see there, I don't know if you can see it, but I took some of the fluff away. so that I can tie it in a bit neater. And then we're going to work our way up, head length away, just there. Now I'm going to wind the chenille towards myself. And the main reason for doing that is that I want the hackle to sit nice, and I'm going to wind it up same way I wind my thread. This chenille's really strong anyway, so come round into the last turn. I'm going to catch it with 2 or 3 turns, but you've got to come across the chenille and across onto the hook. Do the same again. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bare the core again, so I'm going to cut it about maybe a centimetre away, and then bare the core so that I can tie this in and get a neater, really neat head. And you could fold back some of this and trim it away. It'll never pull out then. Just makes a neater head if you do that. So a nice base of thread down for the hackle. Now when you wind this up, just rub it really. You put it on, see how it sits. Yeah, there's into 4 turns, and then we're going on to the fine soft fibre at the base of the hackle. Come round at least with a turn. And you catch it in, see what it's like. Bend the stem 90 degrees to the thread and that will lock it in. Should we quick look at that? Looks not too bad. What have we got down here? Just a bit of fluff. That's fine, I'm happy with that. Trim that away. Nice head. Anyway, there we go. It's a very simple fly. Fluff there. Some of the chenille there. Just draw it back with my finger, fold it back. Just that it will catch the varnish will exaggerate that bit of fluff. So best if you can cover it up. Whip finish. Trim away your thread. And there we go. And there you go, that's Robert Bragg, Dragonfly Nymph, or best known as Bragg's Dragonfly Nymph. Nice pattern. You see I've kind of spread the tail a wee bit. That there is just adds to the rest of the fly, meaning the taper of the fly. And now all you have to do is varnish the head. A couple of coats of varnish will do it. All the way around. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed that. As I say, it was a request, and enjoy tying flies that I've never heard before, if I can anyway. A lot of times I've struggled to get the materials needed, but I think that's as close to the dressing. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it, I say. And as I say, I'll probably give it another coat of varnish and that'll be it finished. So again, thanks for watching, and that's the Bragg's Dragonfly Nymph.